like to hear an incredibly big round of applause. I think he did brilliantly. Well done. So, welcome to Rosie Valley High School this morning. My name is Mrs. Jenner and I am the head teacher at this school. I would just like to start by saying that we're not anticipating there being a fire alarm, but if the bell did go off, then I would need you to exit through the doors at the back and through the door that you just came in and just go straight back round to the playground where the band was and where you were waiting for your tour. So that would be brilliant. But let's hope that doesn't happen unless there's a science experiment going on. But let's hope not. So thank you. So welcome to Rosie Valley High School. And it is really wonderful to have you all here this morning and to be able to have you to come and see our school. And I really hope that this morning you've had an opportunity already to either have a tour of the school or to meet some of our students, meet some of our staff. And I'm going to say that I hope that you have felt Rosie Valley this morning, because to me that is what is so important here, and I hope that you have felt that really welcoming and positive approach that we have here at the school. So my name is Sharon Jenner and I am delighted. I've been the head here now since 2017 and I'm really proud of this school and the trajectory of improvements that this school that we've worked through. But I'm not just a head teacher, I'm also a mother. I've got 3 children myself. And I know how important it is to make that right choice for your child. Not all of my children went to the same school, and it was really important to me to make that right choice. Because without a doubt, a happy child is a child who then ultimately will be successful. And I think that that's really, really important, that we never ever lose sight of that. And I always think I would want this school to be the school that I would want my children to come to, because that's how we should, and that's what I would actually want. So thank you. So the ethos of this school. So we set this vision when I first became the head teacher. This was the vision that we actually set for the school. And I would say, and I really mean this, we have really lovely children here in the school. The majority of the children here are incredibly kind, they're very resilient, and actually they're really, really polite, and I hope that you felt that today. We are oversubscribed. We do have over 250 in every year group, and this year we did, our intake into the 6th form was the largest that we've ever had. As a school, our ethos is really underpinned by, we really value the individual child, and we recognise that every child here is unique. Every child comes from a different starting point. We really want to encourage diversity and celebrate other cultures. Our outcomes, which I'll talk about in a minute, which I make no apology for really being proud of, is significantly now above national levels. And all of our students, our big focus is in ensuring that they become those really well-rounded citizens who can partake successfully in modern Britain. And that's quite a hard thing for young people today. And we're, as a school, trying to prepare them with the skills that they need to be successful in jobs that at the moment probably don't even exist. But for us, therefore, it is about us producing that really well-rounded individual. And I'm really proud that the vision that we set of this school, to be a school that was a choice for our local community, is really now being realised. So what type of school are we? Well, we are a school that has got really, really high aspirations for every single child, regardless of their start. And we really try to encourage all our students to work hard, but to show that kind of mutual respect for each other and the community. And that's really, really important to me, that actually we recognise that we will work together, and it isn't just the students and the staff, it's the parents, it's all of us working together. And I think that that positivity is what has really supported this school to actually move forward. And again, I'm going to reiterate, I really hope that you did feel that warm, positive vibe here at the school, because that is there all the time. And as much as you come this morning, I also encourage you, next week the school is open every morning from 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock we will be doing tours when the school is normal. We've got 1,500 children in the school, and you will also feel that positive, welcoming vibe here. So, I'm going to make no apology for this, because I am proud of this. And I am proud of how all the improvements that we've put in the school have now come to fruition in that our results at GCSE and A-level are now, and have been for the last 4 years, significantly above national averages and putting us and ensuring that all the children are making really good success. So our GCSE results this year, if we put this in context, 52% of them got a grade 5 in maths and English. And even for those of you who maybe haven't been in a senior school or had children through senior school, a grade 5 is what in old money would have been a B. So that means over half of the cohort achieved a B in maths and English. And you see, we're non-selective school, we're not a selective school, and actually that just shows the level of support that those students are actually getting. Our progress scores clearly indicate that across the curriculum, the students make a third of the grade more progress than that which is expected. Our sixth form results are considering that we only had a sixth form start in 2015, to be now in the situation where our results are putting us in the very top 5% of schools attainment in the country, to me, again, is something that I am really proud of, and I know how hard our teachers work and how passionate they are to actually encourage that. And this year, as I said, we enrolled our largest cohort in the sixth form, and our outgoing sixth form, 68% of the grades were A star to B. And for a fledgling sixth form, that is outstanding, and it's something that I am incredibly, and my team are incredibly proud of. I think this graph stands for itself, and this shows that students achieve highly here in maths and English. But it's not just in maths and English. And again, the blue column on here is RVHS results compared to national results across the core subjects. And this doesn't happen by chance, and it can't, and given the depth of the new GCSEs and A-level, it can't happen by just working hard in year 10 and 11. It happens because we actually start to create a curriculum that the depth of that starts right from year 7, and we actually start to ensure that that is being built up as we go through. So, last graph for our post-16 results, and again, you are going to meet in a minute some of my lovely head boy and head girl, and actually they are the end product of where this 7-year journey will actually take us. But when I look at these post-16 results, I think this also has to be remembered that these students studied through a pandemic. They didn't sit GCSEs, they had no exam prior experience, and yet through the continued remote education that we offered here, which again, of which we did really well because we were already a Google school, we were already on the road to actually ensure we had the right technology in place, meant that those students were successful. And again, very, very proud of that. And I know that you're sitting there and your children are very young, but ultimately, you want to know where they're going. What is the end ambition for your children? And again, you may know some of these students. And this is just one page celebrating some of our top performers at A-level. But as a school, we really offer that careers advice. We actually work with them because we recognise that now not all students want to go to university. University is no longer necessarily the chosen path for every child. There are so many opportunities now through degree apprenticeships, and we really work hard with our students to ensure that they can actually succeed in whatever destination they want to go on to. You will have seen, well, you may not, but we actually work also in partnership with Chelsea Football Club, and that's been a really good thing for working with coaching skills and certain other aspects of sport that has also helped some of our students with vocational courses as well. So, as I said, we recognise that university is not always the right choice for every child. But what we work really hard here is to ensure that every child goes onto a pathway that ultimately they will be successful. And again, you may know some of these students. Again, it's just a selection of some of our students and some of the degree apprenticeships that through the careers work that we do here at the school, they've all gone on to actually achieve. So again, really proud of that. But such good outcomes at both GCSE and A-level, they don't just happen. And as I said, we have worked hard to ensure that we have planned out and fully underpinned a 7-year journey for our students. And this is fully mapped the curriculum from years 7 through to 13. But we're not only about the academic, and I know I've just focused on outcomes, because actually that's what parents want to know, and that is the end product that everybody sees. But actually it's not, that's not the full picture at all. What we focus on is the full development of the child. And we also have mapped out our curriculum journey, which is on their building character. How are we going to ensure that they do become these really well-rounded individuals? how are we going to equip them with the skills for them to be successful and make sure that they are adults who can be fully functioning in a really modern society? So we recognise that our students do need to be highly skilled, they've got to be really flexible in their thinking and learning, and resilient. And the one thing that the pandemic showed me was how resilient our students are in this school and how we've encouraged that and given them that voice. And because we are preparing them, as I said, for jobs that we've never even heard of yet. So that's there. So this personal development journey. So we have a fully mapped curriculum, and it is bespoke, and it runs from years 7 to 13, and it builds on different skills. It's an actual taught lesson. It covers all of the statutory requirements from relationships, sex, health and education. It covers the statutory mental health curriculum. It actually works on actually building those self-esteem, enabling students to be able to speak well and just to be able to communicate with each other and have an understanding of the complexities of what life is likely to throw at them. We cover in there lots of different topics within that, and it includes careers right from year 7. And obviously in year 7 a careers lesson is going to look very different to a careers lesson in year 13, but it builds those skills and starts them to think about where their future is going. So this bespoke PD curriculum on the board, I've just put up here, this is just a taster from the year 7 and 8 section. And you can see the kind of topics that are in there, the studying of diversity, about your own mental health, your own mental well-being, actually looking at healthy relationships, looking at drugs, how does that affect you, looking at other things that might actually cause barriers to actually becoming successful as we move forward. And all of that is taught by our teachers, and we actually have training, and we have a bespoke person who leads it, and we also lead that through assemblies and through drop-down days and things. So I really wanted this school, and I feel that we're there. We have a really positive enforcement culture, really positive, and actually that's underpinned by our incredible high expectations. And I have really high expectations of staff. I have really high expectations of students, and I will say I have high expectations of my parent body as well to support us in this journey. Because ultimately it's by having that high expectation of each other that we can then move on to actually be successful. So in our positive, people always ask me, what about behaviour in the school? Well, we're a non-selective 11 to 18 school with 1,500 students on site every day. There are going to be occasional behaviour issues, but it's how we deal with it. How are we dealing with that in the classroom, and how are we dealing with that? And as I said, the majority of the students here are absolutely fabulous. Well, we have our positive action for learning strategy. It's actually all of our teachers follow it in the classroom, and it is to avoid that kind of low-level disruption that would then impact on students' learning. And we make sure that that is followed through, and that is a consistent approach across the whole school. And it works. It really works. And the school is an incredibly calm and orderly place. And it's also built on positivity that I believe, and my teachers believe, that for every 6 positives, there should only ever be 1 negative. Or if we look at it the other way, every time there's 1 negative, then that should be followed up with 6 really positive enforcements. And that's what we're really proud of. So the significant improvements that have come about in the school are underpinned by the curriculum. So we've mapped out our 7-year journey for every child. But we've also underpinned this with, what does teaching and learning look like in the classroom? Because to me, that has been the driver of all school improvement. Everything else is supporting. It has to be right in the classroom. You don't achieve really outstanding outcomes unless you get it right in the classroom. So we have what we call our ACE framework. And this is where we've looked at what are the core elements of successful learning. And the core elements of successful learning in any learning would be assessment, that students get feedback, you understand where you went wrong and how you're actually going to improve. Is there lessons? Is that learning creative? Is it actually getting you to think a little bit deeper about what you're doing? Are we securing the engagement of the students in the class? Are the teachers following that POW system? Are they ensuring that the engagement is there? And then the final point is differentiation, because we recognise, and I'll go back, every child is unique. Every child has a separate starting point. Every child might need to learn in a slightly different way. So what we need to ensure is that that lesson is tailored for that. Our ethos is teach to the top. Teach to the top. Actually stretch, challenge, but scaffold it. And scaffold the work down. And that's what we work, that's what all our quality assurance works on in the classroom, and then to ensure that we actually get this right. So what's on the board here would be part of our quality assurance, and these are the routines that are embedded within our classrooms. Like all the classes that do it now tasks, we have a key focus on certain things. And the quality assurance would be, my questions always going to be, are the children being challenged? Are they being challenged? Are they actually engaging in this period of learning? And are they inspired by that? Because the students who go on and achieve higher are students who are actually inspired by what they're learning, and that's really, really important. All of this that I'm saying is freely available on our website, and I encourage you to go and explore it and have a look at it. And underpinning that curriculum, as I said, we recognise that we are building up skills. We build up knowledge, and knowledge, we have to keep retrieving that knowledge and building that into the curriculum. But we also need to ensure that we are giving the students the analytical skills, those ability to analyse data, to analyse text, to be able to read is really fundamentally important. And again, every subject area has a fully mapped skills map from year 7 to 13. Now the pandemic was quite a miserable time for a lot of us, and maybe in schools, but do you know what? As a school, we responded incredibly positively. And actually, when we came back to normal, we started to talk about what did we learn in the pandemic, because actually my staff upskilled massively. We already were a Google school, we already had Google Classroom, we were already exploring the technology. But there are things that I now know about Google that I didn't have a clue about before the pandemic, and I'm sure for lots of us, Zooms and all sorts. And actually the students really engaged with a lot of the technology, and we needed to grasp that. So when we decided, well, what do we take forward from this? One thing that we didn't want to take forward was the way that students were so separated, and that's we worked really hard, and I'll talk about that in the house system, to get that back to them being integrated. But the technology was definitely something that we needed to take forward. So we wrote our own digital strategy, and this is what we carried forward into our curriculum. And all of the year groups had digital weeks, and we actually encouraged the use of digital technology in those lessons. And that's not just a case of bringing my laptop in and word processing. This is about exploring how Google and some of the wider aspects of technology can really impact and help students. We can take students to the other side of the world in a Google lesson. They don't need to go on it. Obviously we want them to, and I hope you see we do lots of that, but they can do so many different things from the classroom with the right technology, and that's something that we absolutely bought into. We do have a Chromebook purchase scheme, and if your child does come here, I would really encourage you to participate in that, because having their own Chromebook links directly to their Google Classrooms and with all the technology that we use here in school. I would say that anybody who is having financial difficulty, we do help, we do support, because I wouldn't want anybody to be disadvantaged. But I would also really encourage that that's the route that I would like students to move into. Sorry, I didn't turn over. Okay, so literacy. I think we can all recognise that literacy underpins absolutely everything, and we focus on literacy. Literacy is not just taught through the English lessons. We have literacy embedded across all of the subject areas, and the specific focuses on reading. We actually now do a system where the students who come into us in Year 7 who are below age appropriate reading, we actually are teaching them to read here at secondary level as well, and that's been really important for me. And also that we have some whole school initiatives, and one of them, which I think is the bedrock of learning, is that students need to have a good command of vocabulary. They need to understand, they need to be able to talk well and have good Tier 2 vocabulary, and as they progress through school they need to have good Tier 3 vocabulary, which is a specific exam content language. So that is specific words or scientific words or mathematical words, or words that are appropriate to the curriculum. And all of the school, years 7 to 13, have 2 sessions a week on Bedrock. And Bedrock is really helping to improve those vocabulary of our students. And that, again, is something that's been highly successful. So I spoke about the house system. Again, I think the house system, we only introduced the house system 4 or 5 years ago. And then we had the pandemic and everybody was very, very separate. And that didn't feel like Rosen Valley. It didn't feel like the school that I wanted to leave, where it was very much everyone was in their own little pockets and bubbles. So last year we really used the house system to bring everybody back together. Everybody in the school community is aligned with the house. Everybody does that. This is completely student-led. There is students, the sixth formers, who actually run all of the house system. They run the assemblies, they run the competitions. We support them, but again, it's about encouraging them to actually take leadership and ownership. We've now brought in where we have house weeks. In those house weeks, and we just had one, we actually put everybody into what I would call a vertical form. So in that vertical form, you've got a mixture of these 7 to year 13s. And I know that this year it has really helped our year 7s to integrate and transition into school, because they were actually in a form for 1 week where they had year 10s in there, year 11s in there, and they've made some friendships and it's made them actually feel more comfortable with some of the older students. But the house system is a really important part of the ethos of our school, for healthy competition, to integrate our students, and just for people to have an identity outside of the year group that they are actually in. And as I said, student leadership and student voice at the school are, to me, 2 of the most important things. Some of the changes that we've made at the school have come about from our students. I value what our students tell us. So we have a very clear student voice. Students can talk to us about things that they think are good, and maybe things that they think we could do better, and we take that on board, because ultimately we want to service them the best that we possibly can. Student leadership, again, doesn't happen by chance, and we have a full structure in the school. And the older positions here, our sixth formers will apply for those, so we're teaching them, it's about applying for a role. We put them through a rigorous interview process. We even did a fishbowl exercise with them. We've done lots of things to ensure that we are actually, again, getting them ready. Some of them are doing interviews for university, some of them are doing interviews for degree apprenticeships. But doing those leadership interviews is really an important strength, and it's something that, again, I'm incredibly proud of. So, I've told you lots about my school, and I'm now going to hand over to Talani and Daniel. Talani and Daniel are my head boy and head girl. They are 2 fabulous students, and they are just going to talk to you a little bit more about the school and their experience in Year 7. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Daniel, and as Mr. Jenner mentioned, I'm the head boy. Although I may now have an important role within the school community, I must say I wasn't always the best student. Ask any teacher, and I can almost guarantee they have an interesting story to tell of one of my many accidents. However, it's quite difficult to think that only a few years prior, not only was I struggling with my subjects, causing problems for myself and others, but now I am a student who has left their impact in the wider community, through the roles at district and county councils, as well as applying for unis for medicine with all their star predictions. Some of you may be wondering as to how that may have come about, and to be fair, I can't tell you. But I can say that the support that the students get here is unmatched. YPLs, for example, are always checking in on students to make sure they do not feel left out. The amazing staff at the Hub have their door open to offer their guidance and support to any student that may find themselves going through a difficult time. Mentoring is an amazing opportunity for the younger year students to meet with their older peers, usually sixth formers who have been through similar situations. They can talk about anything, and having both been mentored and now a mentor myself, I must say I've experienced the benefits firsthand of having someone there to talk to. Teachers as well are always willing to put that sandwich aside to help your child get their head around the most difficult topics. They are also frequently encouraging us to apply for anything and everything. And what originally seemed like pestering has boosted our confidence when it comes to applying for uni. It is safe to say that this school is very student-oriented. Slaney High recently began elections for the student voice. as well as holding the Student Forum, an amazing event where we brought together students from all year groups to discuss what they may feel needs to be improved about the school, some of which we have already begun implementing after meetings with Ms. Jen and other SLT members, such as getting student subject ambassadors to help out in lessons where they have supply teachers, because let's be honest, they don't always go to plan. The house system that you've heard a lot about, as Ms. Jen mentioned, is run by house captains and deputy house captains, all of whom are sixth forms. They help make sure that the vertical form weeks go as smoothly as possible, deliver assemblies, as well as organise and run events such as Sports Day and the COP26 event, an initiative run last year where students from each house competed with their ideas on how to make the school green. The winning idea being that bottles are introduced which are now on sale. This extensive network of support and opportunity has allowed myself and many other students to become that better student which this school aspires to produce. And I have no doubt in my mind that your child also, should they come to this school, will be able to explore themselves and their interests. Thank you.
Good morning, and a warm welcome to everyone. I am delighted to meet you. My name is Solani, and I am the current head girl. I feel honoured to be welcoming you to this fantastic school. I remember nervously walking into my first classroom, figuring out the seating plan, and now, here I am, proud to say that I have been a student at RVHS for 7 years. I am a product of the unswerving dedication from wonderful staff who encourage students to passionately believe in supporting each other and learning from each other. Following the challenging few years during COVID-19, we studied for our GCSEs online, but with incredible teaching support and guidance, despite all the challenges, I managed to achieve 7 to 9 grades at GCSE and enter the sixth form to begin to prepare for a career in medicine. In October, like Daniel, I'll be applying to 4 medical schools with A-star AA grade predictions after successfully completing my entrance exam just last week. I look forward to mentoring some of your students who may also be interested in a medical career. At RVHS, your child will be encouraged to become a role model and a leader that contributes to the school community. This year, I was able to co-found the Roding Valley Medical Society with the ambition to make RVHS a school where students who have aspirations to study medicine find an inspiring and supportive community. Now, as a year 13, I look back over my time at RVHS for and have so many fantastic memories that I will take with me. Roding has taught me that academic enrichment is vital, but also learning social and emotional skills while developing personal character is a key part of your own academic success. RVHS will provide many opportunities for your child to develop life skills and extracurricular interests while also developing friendships. Both staff and students work together to provide outstanding support and opportunities to all RVHS students. As Daniel mentioned, respecting the student voice is one of our core values of Roding. A key example of this is the recent development of the Halo Group. Made by and for BME students, including myself, to promote inclusivity at RVHS. This was a project completely based on student feedback, and it allowed us to work hand in hand with the senior leadership to ensure students of all backgrounds feel welcome at RVHS. Moreover, this October, all students have had the opportunities to come together to create and share ideas for Black History Month. It's been amazing for myself and my fellow peers to contribute, speak and educate as we prepare to lead assemblies. As head girl, I have had the privilege of watching the RVHS staff and students work together to promote diversity and inclusivity, ensuring every student feels confident and comfortable while at school. Recently, we celebrated the success of our vibrant Culture Day, held by and facilitated by Roding pupils to celebrate RVH students of all backgrounds. Finally, what can your child expect from RVHS as a school? I can tell you that my journey through RVHS has enabled me to continue to work towards my dreams and aspirations. Your child can expect the same high expectations and outstanding opportunities. I can't wait to see the future head boy or head girl, house captains, academic award winners, concert performers and skilled sports representatives blossom as they start in September. Moving up to Year 7 is a big change, making new friends and meeting new teachers, led by our excellent leadership team and our dedicated head teacher. The RVHS staff and student community always strive to provide the very best start possible for every student as they embark on their successful, inspiring and academic journey at RVHS. Thank you.
They are the end product. They are fabulous. So, as a school, we have worked really hard to improve communication. So there are lots of different ways for you as a parent to be communicating with us. And one of the things that we actually have run now for 2 years has been a Year 7 summer school. And this year it was smaller than the previous year, but it was run so effectively that it really supported lots of our Year 7s to make that transition. So again, if you do choose and you come to us, please try and get your child to come to the summer school, because it is a really great way for them to make friends and to actually engage with other students prior to them actually starting the school in September. Now, Year 7s have only actually been in school with us for 3 weeks, but I've managed to persuade 4 of them to come and talk to you today. So come on guys, come on. I don't know that if I'd only started secondary school 3 weeks ago that I'd be happy to do this, but these are brilliant students and they wanted to talk to you about their experiences over these 3 weeks. So, I'm going to hand over.
Good afternoon, my name is Isabella and I'm in 7 Brilliant and in Hawking House. This morning I'm going to talk to you about my experience here so far and how the teachers and students have made the transition the best that it could be. The main differences between junior and secondary school is that Roding Valley is obviously a lot bigger. You have more responsibility and ownership. For example, packing your bag with the correct books and equipment for the right day. I advise anyone to do this the night before. Finding your way to the correct classrooms, making sure you're on time, and ensuring that I complete and submit all the home learning that is set in the Google Classroom. That said, I have had lots of fun and have met many new friends from different primary schools. After a few days at school, a list of extracurricular clubs came out and I was amazed at the amount of clubs there were. There was something for everyone, including sport clubs as well as other clubs like creative writing, library, chess and much more. My personal favourite subject so far would have to be English, simply because of the fact that I've loved everything we've done so far and the way it is taught by Miss Woods. We are currently learning about Animal Farm and it is a really exciting topic which I can't wait to learn more about. I have even had the opportunity to be the teaching and learning ambassador, and when I had a visit from Mr. Ryan, I really enjoyed telling him about what we were learning that day. I have so far enjoyed all the new opportunities there are to get involved with. For example, on my second music lesson here, we started learning how to play the ukulele, which I have always wanted to do but never had the opportunity to. I feel like I have settled in very well and am looking forward to my 7-year journey ahead. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Jamie and I'm in 7 High June and I'm in Hawking House. I've really enjoyed Roding Valley in my first few weeks and I'm excited to face new challenges over the next 7 years. I thought it was going to be difficult, from being one of the oldest and biggest students in primary school to being the youngest and smallest at Roding Valley. I must say that all the older students have actually been really helpful and I picked to argue am I okay or to offer guidance for my next lesson. It seems that there is always someone available to ask for help, whether it's my academic mentor, Miss Reed, our year progress leader, any of my classroom teachers, or other students in the Roding Valley community. Although I enjoy lots of subjects, my favourites are math, English and PE. I'm getting used to the home learning and Google Classroom, and I love the fact that I can email my teachers if I'm unsure about a piece of home learning, and they are quick to reply and help. I joined the Year 7 football club and I got picked for a team. We have already had a number of training sessions and even our first match. Unfortunately, the result didn't go our way. However, I know the team will aspire to be successful at many Roding Valley football teams before us. I feel my transition from primary school to Roding Valley have been very smooth, with but the teachers are really supportive, kind, helpful, and I really feel a part of the Roding Valley community. I couldn't be happier to call Roding Valley High School my school.
Hello, parents of future year 7s. My name is Safe and I'm in 7 Alton and my house is Pancras House. I would like to talk to you today about how I studied to year 7 so far. The first few days were a little bit tough, but that is normal. Something that has amazed me since joining Roding Valley is how kind everyone is. Teachers, support staff, to canteen staff and other students. I found it was really helpful that we could start a day earlier than the rest of the school. So we had some freedom to explore and find our way without the older students being here. Having said that, when they were here, they were extremely helpful in showing us the Roding Valley way. For example, walking on the left side of the corridor, having perfect uniform, and generally being kind and respectful to one another. Something that has eased my transition into secondary school is the period 1 program. This is 30 minutes every single morning that we spend with the same class and our academic mentors. During period 1, we get a chance to set ourselves up, as well as take part in Bedrock to help develop our literacy, personal development, which teaches us life skills, discuss careers, and be a part of the legal group assembly. We also have a program called Vertical Forms. During Vertical Forms, from our houses, Murray, Pancras, Redwood, Church, Hawking, the 7s and 13s are the same form for a whole week, once a time. This gives us the opportunity to meet new people and be a part of the Roding Valley community. After period 1, we take part in all our lessons for the day. My favourites are maths and history. In history, we are currently studying the medieval period, which I find fascinating. My first few weeks here have been exciting, with lots to take on board, but I feel like I'm getting there. Please know that when your child joins Roding Valley, if they're ever lost or unsure of anything, I'll be happy to help, but they can always ask me. Thank you and enjoy your rest of your day.
Good morning. My name is Sienna. I'm in 7 Hydrogen and I'm in Churchill House. When I first started at Roding Valley, I was nervous and scared that I was going to get lost. The work would be too hard, but I wouldn't make any new friends. I really thought it would be hard to jump from such a small primary school to a large secondary school. Really quickly get used to it. And I want to talk to you about some of the reasons why. I went to summer school and I met some teachers and I already made some new friends. The activities were super fun and engaging. There are activities like rounders, a treasure hunt, an art class, making rockets and much more. My favourite subjects so far are music and art because I like how you can be creative. All my teachers are really friendly and everyone from teachers to students always offer to help. At lunch and break there is a variety of different food to choose from. There's a pasta bar, a baguette bar, a canteen and also a special park near the ashtray for snacks only for the Year 7 names. I love how the Year 7s get to go out 20 minutes earlier and get our food before everyone else. I've enjoyed joining clubs such as netball, cooking and spray painting. I have also enjoyed making new friends and meeting teachers. These have helped me settle into my new school. My advice to you is to get involved, don't be shy, enjoy your time at Roding Valley and learn the Roding Valley way of aspiration, respect and endeavour.
They're incredibly brave. But they don't want to go now, but they're loving it. Okay, so they're at the start of our 7-year journey, and I have every confidence that they will be standing here anew to Lani and Daniel in 7 years' time. So what else do we do to actually support the students? So we're really keen, as I said, on the leadership. And thank you. And today you might see some of our other students around, and we actually have what we would call prefects as well, and students who actually help to support those students in the form times as well. So these are just some photos from the transition for this year. But I think the thing that I'd like to point out here is the students here are really happy And that's, to me, is one of the most important parts of this job, is making sure that the students are happy, because that is actually what encourages them ultimately to be successful. Lots of parents ask us, what do we do specifically for transition? We do lots of things for transition. But just our aim is here is to ensure it is a big school, but it's how do we make that big school small for them in that first initial few weeks. So there are lots of different things that we do to help that. So Year 7s do have slightly earlier lunch to start so that they can get their lunch before everybody else. They do have their own dedicated area to play, just them and the Year 8s at lunch times to enable them to forge their own relationships. And obviously the things that we've spoken about, which are the mentoring, the house system, those house forms, those vertical forms, also really help them to integrate in with the other year groups as well. I put this in here because I often get asked as well about Duke of Edinburgh, and do we do Duke of Edinburgh? Yes, we do, and in fact last week we had a number of students that were out doing their Gold Award last week. Extracurricular is a massive part of Roding Valley culture and ethos, and there are, as the young people have just spoken to you about, they're from a chess club to a knitting club to a football club to a science club to the medical club. There is everything that anybody could want to do. And again, where we value student voice, if there isn't something that your child wants to do, if they tell us about it and we've got the expertise, then I know that the staff here are always really keen to actually take that on board as well. So, just a bit of admin. This is our admissions policy. So we don't have, and I've been asked this already this morning, we do not have a catchment area for the school. What we do have are priority primary schools. So if your child attends one of those priority primary schools, then there is a preference in admissions. However, our plan is at 248, and we do, and there is, and obviously if you want your child to come to this school, then I just encourage you to put us down as the first choice, even if your child doesn't go to one of these schools. So thank you, and I understand that that has to be completed by the end of October. So thank you very much for listening to me and some of my students. I do hope that you have really enjoyed your tour. But I'm going to use the word again. I hope that you have felt Roding Valley, because the school is an incredibly positive and welcoming school, and we want the students, we want them to succeed academically, and they do, but we also want our students here to be really happy and for us, and to know that they are really valued by us, and that is really, really important to me. So thank you, and next week, if you do want to see more of the school is open every morning at 9 o'clock. You come to reception and some of the students will be taking you on a tour for 40 minutes, and that would be during the normal school. 1,500 students we have on site here on a normal school day. It is a lot of students, and they are all, you know, lovely, and I'd love you all to come and see us on a normal working day as well. But I hope that you have really enjoyed it this morning. I've loved meeting so many of you today. I know my staff have worked incredibly hard to ensure that as well. So thank you very much, and take care and enjoy.